Welcome to SAP TechEd 2021. Welcome to the pre-show and welcome back to Channel 1. My name is Ceci Huergo and I'm part of the Central Product Management team for SAP Business Technology Platform, and I'm super excited to be your host for today. But in true Channel 1 fashion, I'm not alone. I'm here with
Rui Nogueira, and I'm working for the cross-architecture team at SAP, and I'm super excited to have a professional Channel 1 co-host moderator with me.
Well, I don't know about professional, but I was a Channel 1 host also last year in 2020, and it was super exciting. If you were here with us last year, you will remember also Craig and Beth. They were the hosts of the pre-show, so shout out to them, and we hope to make you proud. So, the pre-show is all about getting you ready for the executive keynote. In about 58 minutes, more or less, we'll be hearing from Jürgen Müller herself about all the updates and innovations that he wants to share with us, and that you'll be learning more about in the next 48 hours during the event. So that is, of course, very important, but we have so much that we want to share with you beforehand. So, Rui, the first question actually goes to you. I know you were super involved this year in the content strategy for Channel 1. So can you maybe share with the audience how it was all put together?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the whole content, and you will see also later on the webpage, is really built along the SAP strategy for the intelligent enterprise. So meaning it starts from the business processes on top, covering all your processes in your company, and then the supporting solutions like the Intelligence Suite from the SAP, but also third-party solutions or partner solutions built on top of a strong platform, the SAP Business Technology Platform. And that platform provides to the solutions capabilities that they can use, like artificial intelligence, analytics capabilities built in, or database and data management capabilities. So a very strong platform to make the solutions really work seamlessly together to, at the end, work across all the end-to-end processes in a seamless way. And that's what you also see on the track sessions and how they have been organized.
Okay, perfect. So maybe then can you show us how that's actually represented on the website?
Sure. I mean, let me just take my laptop here.
Yeah, okay.
And if you can see here, one sec. So we have here problems with...
No, I think the people are seeing it,
okay,
actually.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Wonderful.
The production team got the cue.
Yeah, so you can see here, if you scroll down a bit, the TechEd webpage, and on the right-hand side, the tracks.
1 sec, I think it's not coming up properly.
Okay.
Can you maybe touch again?
Yeah, let me just check. We have some...
As you see, this is live.
This is live, nothing pre-recorded. So,
sometimes these things happen.
Yeah. So maybe we don't... We keep it aside and maybe do it later on.
Yeah.
So the tracks are really organized, and you see then the tracks from the Business Technology Platform, the 4 tracks like analytics, like database and data management, application development and integration. This is all, let's say, in the web page as visible as a track, and then we also have 3 tracks around the Intelligence Suite, and then 1 separate partner track around partner innovation with SAP. And then, of course, last but not least, also Channel 1 as a separate track that we also provide here on stage, also live content along this strategy.
Exactly. Okay, perfect. So basically, as Rui was explaining, we have our intelligent enterprise story. So what we try to do is group all the specific product sessions and innovations around these various tracks, so that if you're interested, for example, in digital transformation, then you can go to that track. If you're interested in integration, you can go to the app dev and integration track, and then you'll be able to find the related sessions. And like you mentioned, Channel 1 is also going to come up as a track because we're going to be running in parallel, just like last year, to these track sessions. So you can always tune back here to Channel 1 and check out what we're doing. We're going to have various different content hours and topic hours, actually. And we're also going to be diving into, let's say, cross topics. So we have a topic hour on security, we have one on user experience, we have one on learning, all these things that really move across the various different tracks within SAP. Yep. And we also have the partner innovation track, right? That
absolutely
brings in the ecosystem to that.
Exactly. And for each of those tracks, then we have different session types, like the regular lecture sessions, like the breakout sessions, and also the workshops, so that you can go into each session and actually have a look what kind of sessions are covering my special interest, like, for example, ABAP, right? So you go into the Sessions tab at the top, you type in ABAP in the search field, and then you will get shown up and listed up all the sessions related to ABAP. And then you can actually really filter things like, okay, I want to have something on the beginner level, maybe I'm an expert or advanced, and take this as a filter. Or you can also have workshops, right, that actually show you how to use these technologies yourself.
And I think with workshops, also what we added this year as an innovation is this concept of workshops with unlimited seats. Can you explain what that is?
Absolutely. So you will see it also on the webpage that we have, on the one hand side, the limited seats workshops, which actually work the same way like they have done last year, and that you also maybe know from the physical events. It's actually a format where you need to pre-register, you prepare, and then you actually go into the session and follow the instructions of the session owner. At the end, then, after 2 hours, you are done. With the unlimited seat sessions, we wanted to provide something new this time, where you actually can go to a workshop at any time without having to pre-register. You can book it as any other lecture or breakout session on the TechEd webpage, and just go there. And either you have prepared and follow the instructions in parallel to what you just see, or you go there by just watching, grabbing some popcorn, something to drink, and just watch the instructor going through, because at the end, you can actually look into those workshops afterwards, because we are also recording all the hands-on workshops.
Excellent. So that's an excellent point. We'll have all the content actually we'll have all the content available on demand afterwards.
Absolutely.
So another important thing that we want to mention, you might be watching us right now on Channel 1 through social media, like maybe Twitter or YouTube or LinkedIn, but it's very important that you head over to sapteched.com and actually register for the event, because that means that you'll actually get more perks. So you'll be able to access the expert Q&As that we'll have in the sessions and also on Channel 1. You'll be able to access the live chat that we have actually now live on Channel 1. So if you head over there now, you can actually maybe say hi to us, tell us from where you're watching the event, and just kind of start networking with the community. And you'll also be able to access all the amazing content that Rui just explained on demand afterwards.
But I think before we go deeper, let's maybe have a sneak peek into the keynote. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Should we? Let's go.
Hello and welcome to TechEd 2021. Our commitment is to support all companies and institutions to manage their business. SAP TechEd is an event for makers. SAP TechEd is made for you.
All right, well, that was just a very short sneak peek into Jürgen's keynote, but I'm already super excited to see what the actual keynote will bring, and I'm kind of like on the edge of my seat here waiting for it. We still have about 50 minutes to go, so we have a lot more content that we want to share with you, starting off with the concept of TechEd really being a learning event. It's learning experience. So yes, the actual event goes throughout 48 hours, and we're going to provide you with a lot of content and a lot of sessions and a lot of information, but you do not have to watch it all during the event. That's why we also have that content on demand available afterwards. And like we were mentioning before, even the workshops will be recorded this year. So you'll be able to access all this information even after the event. Maybe you want to test out a workshop during a break, during your holidays, during the weekend. I know Rui likes to code for fun, so
Absolutely.
I'm sure some of you will as well. So yeah, and I think we were also saying that last year, we also had the content pre-recorded, but it was accepting, the exception with the workshops. And this year we actually changed that to include it
so
in Hansen.
all the workshops will be actually available on demand, so that you can also keep on learning after after TechEd, also learning at your own pace. And with that, also not having to have to fear that you are missing out on something, but rather, hey, it's cool if I miss one or the other session. If I register on sapteched.com, it's just a few seconds. I'm in the TechEd platform, and from that moment on, I can access all the sessions that have been recorded here on demand.
Yeah, and talking about sessions, when we were reviewing the session types earlier, I noticed again that we have a developer keynote this year, which last year was probably my highlight from 2020, the developer keynote, aside from Channel 1, of course.
Yeah.
But what the guys did there was really excellent, and we're actually going to have a developer keynote this year again that will be on day 2.
Yeah, and when I was thinking about my highlights from last year, I found out that we have something in common, right?
We do.
So we both were on the keynote and did a demo, right?
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, we did we were part of the executive keynote with Jürgen. We both had a demo, and I think we only realized that when we saw the keynote.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the video was so blurry, right? And my camera was not that good that I decided after the keynote really to get me a good camera to do my next videos.
Yeah.
But I think if we are now already talking about 2020 from last year, let's maybe have a look at the 2020 highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's do that.
Hello, and a very, very, very warm welcome to SAP TechEd 2020.
In particular, from a content perspective, we have a phenomenal amount of content for everybody, and it's session formats and items that you will be familiar with.
Welcome to the TechEd house.
My favorite part of TechEd is sessions like this.
Welcome back to SAP TechEd 2020, #virtual.
Here he is. Hi, Ian. How are you doing?
I'm just blown away by the whole stage.
Virtual phone calls and watch the keynote together.
I'm happy that you tuned in to our virtual experience.
You might have noticed so far, I like to talk and I talk a lot, but now we have something super exciting.
I'm utterly excited to welcome you to the Developer Lab. I don't want to waste any further more time.
Made by developers for developers, so I think it's an awesome fit. Three developers with a very diverse skill set.
It's our social media wall, and it's so much happening on social media already. So thank you for tagging us. I'm thrilled that you guys are sharing your thoughts with us, your feelings, your experience with SAP TechEd so far. How do you like my developer lab?
Very, very cool, very slick. Yes, I like it a lot.
Hey folks, I hope you're doing fine. You're all looking great wherever you are in the world. We have quite some time zones covered. I know it's hard for everybody of us, but so glad to see you.
Today, we will show you how the SAP Business Technology Platform empowers many players in the SAP ecosystem.
It's just unreal. Oh
You guys spotted our studio cat. #SAP TechEd.
I love it. Where is
It's
he?
just brilliant. The cat?
Yeah, I think I saw it before, but probably in the kitchen still.
We're already over 30 hours into SAP TechEd 2020. I mean, that's just amazing.
The way this is done can be described as virtual production that has become popular since The Mandalorian.
Did he say Mandalorian?
Oktoberfest. No, I mean the Deathtoberfest. Oktoberfest?
Was that my mistake?
Deathtoberfest?
I thought you were celebrating
Max,
Oktoberfest, right?
you're here.
It's still the idea of connecting with different people from all around the world in these remote check-ins to see how SAP TechEd is going over there.
I love it. I really can't believe that I'm now sitting here with you two. Casimir, our
Okay, and now we're back into the kitchen. It's a few floors down and up, like we're constantly running up and down here in this house, so it's really amazing.
We got to get our steps in, you know? I don't think my brain can handle it with all the stuff we have to remember.
And
Shall I ask the question?
I got this. I got this.
Yeah, that was so nice to see all the colleagues from last year's TechEd. I really liked this part where Craig was waiting for Beth to say something. He's like, am I supposed to say something? I hope it doesn't happen here too.
Well, you know, it's live.
Yeah,
so
it's live. Yeah, it's live. Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, those were the highlights from 2020, but I know that we also have a lot of new stuff that we created for 2021. What are some of the new things that people can look forward to?
Yeah, one thing I already mentioned before, the unlimited seats workshops, where you can really get into without having to pre-register. You just go to the TechEd webpage, you select the workshop, add it to your schedule, and that's it. And you can go there at any time, either prepared, where you can follow in parallel to the instructions, or just watching and trying out. And in any case, you can always raise your questions there too, right? So if you are in such an unlimited seats workshop, there are moderators taking care in the background that whatever questions are there will be brought up to the attention of the instructor, and then you can actually get your questions answered during the exercise. That's actually, of course, the advantage of being there live, because then you can ensure that your questions are answered, and in general, that this is your event, right? And bringing in your personality, your questions, your issues on the table, so that we can help you with whatever issue you have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And again, that's really the important part of actually registering for SAP TechEd. So please remember, go to sapteched.com, register. It takes literally like 30 seconds to fill out the form, and then you get access to all this the whole interactive experience. So you can get access to the expert Q&A, you can get access to the chat, both for sessions and on channel 1. You'll get access to all the content on demand afterwards, and you even get a discount for certifications, right?
So there is also what you mentioned before, the Keep Learning section, which brings you then also to SAP Learning, the new offering that we have from SAP. And you will get promo codes there to get discounts for certification. So a really good thing to use.
Yeah. So what else is new for 2021? I know that you actually wrote a blog post about something that's super interesting, right?
So what we try to do at TechEd this year is also to bring the outside-in perspective more into the sessions. So you will notice in some of the sessions that the session owners brought in and the presenters brought in so-called use cases into the overall description of a session, where they actually explain how a certain technology, how certain SAP products can be used to cover a specific challenge. So that's also important for people out there who might not have, let's say, this knowledge about the SAP product portfolio, that they can simply come in with the challenge that they have in their business, and then find out in the blog post that I wrote. It's on community.sap.com. Just look for use cases at SAP TechEd. They will get in my blog post the list of all the use cases, and then a proposed list of sessions that they can go to cover this use case nicely.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, because as you mentioned, not everybody is familiar with every single product or every single solution that we offer at SAP, but everybody knows what they want to do. Yeah. Right? So if you go in from the use case perspective, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to complete? What is my business problem? What is the need that I have? And then from that use case, actually see the related sessions and kind of the sessions that can help you achieve it. It's a much easier journey and much easier to understand than going, the other way around.
Yeah, and you also get an architectural diagram with each of those use cases, so that you know what the various components are that are needed. I think that's a pretty nice asset that we have here.
Yeah, and you use that kind of as a jumping off point, so as a starting point. Okay, these are the initial sessions, these are the initial capabilities or services or products that I need, and then what's related to that, and you can continue learning.
Yeah.
I also want to mention this new type of sessions that we have that you were also a part of, and I love the intro video for that.
Totally fun. So just can recommend, if you go for the student sessions, don't miss them, because they are very, very cool. It's actually interviewing students at SAP that have just recently started their career and have also a learning path in front of them, right? So we had actually asked those students how their learning experience was, right? How did they find their way into TechEd, also during this pandemic phase, right, where they might have to work from home, how that looked like. And it was actually a very interesting exchange that we had with all of them, and also in a very funny way, so don't miss out the student sessions.
It's definitely creative, and I'm not going to do the voice perfectly, but what happened to Abab was extremely funny.
But no sneak peek into that.
Okay, no more spoilers. That was the last one.
No.
But check out the intro for the student sessions and check out the student sessions themselves. I can definitely recommend. But we also have a lot of new updates and changes for Channel 1. Like, for example, we kind of updated the structure of the topic hour. So if you go into the website and actually go into the Channel 1 section, you're going to be able to see that we have an example topic hour there listed. And basically what we wanted to do is provide a mixture of live and pre-recorded content. Because again, we wanted to make it more interactive, right? We want to engage our community. We want you to be a part of TechEd and really be able to submit your questions or just simply chat with us. So at the beginning of the hour, we're always going to start with kind of an intro into the overall topic. We're going to set the stage. It could be a strategy talk, or it could be an expert interview, where we're actually going to have experts here live virtually, right? So we can't have them physically on stage with us, but they'll be joining us virtually, and we'll be able to ask them questions. And you will be able to actually submit those questions in a Q&A tool that we'll be handling at the end of the hour. So that means that always, more or less at the beginning of the hour and at the end of the hour, we have kind of these live elements. So you can get all the information during the hour, and at the end, we'll be able to take your questions in the expert Q&A and ask them to the experts themselves. And in the middle, we've added what we would call proof points. So we have either customer sessions or partner sessions or actual demos. And that means that you're going to be able to know how our customers and partners are utilizing SAP solutions, how they make them work together, what their actual use cases are, maybe what the highlights and lowlights are, and also how they're working with SAP in order to improve our products, how we kind of get that continuous feedback loop going. And of course, the demos will show you how everything works together. So it's not just about talking about the innovations or talking about the updates, it's also about you seeing how these actually work in action. So I think those elements for Channel 1 are very, very cool.
And I think specifically this part about the interactivity, that's something that we really want to push here on Channel 1. And for that, it's really essential, make it your TechEd, register for sapteched.com, and bring your questions up here, because it's live, as you saw. It's not perfect, right? But you can bring up your questions here on stage. We can talk with the experts about this, and then you have actually maybe your question answered here and can move forward to the next step. I think that's pretty important.
And you'll also learn what everybody else is thinking, right? So you'll also be able to get the answers for other questions that were submitted in the Q&A tool, for example.
Yeah.
Now, as we said, TechEd is 48 hours, right? So we have 48 hours of content. I know you're going to say +1 because the pre-show does not count within that 48 hours. Very good.
You already know my thoughts. Wonderful.
We've been prepping so much. But Rui mentioned the use case blog that he wrote, or actually the use case-based session recommendations, because again, there's so much content you might not know where to start. And we actually have another way of recommending sessions. And it's not actually coming from us, it's coming from our community, right?
Yeah, you see there, for example, a lot of SAP mentors and champions who provide their playlists within that section. And it's also maybe a good way for you to find out where to go if you're really not sure which sessions you should visit.
Yeah, definitely. So we also have a few fun elements incorporated within Channel 1, right?
Yeah.
And I think we have a fun element actually here waiting for us.
Yeah, there is Wolfgang. Hey, Wolfgang, he's our mural artist.
Nice to meet you, thanks.
Yeah, hi, Wolfgang.
So nice to have you here on stage with us. So you are doing graphical recording. Can you actually explain to us what that exactly is?
Exactly. Well, in one sentence, it tries to connect key terms, key messages with a visual, so you can actually memorize easier.
I see.
So, for instance, SAP, everything is taking place in the cloud. So it's immaterialized pretty much. So I want to make it visible. And I want to make visible what's happening the next 48 hours in a key sense. That's graphic recording.
Wow.
Very cool. But you actually didn't start as a mural artist, right? I mean, so I think you studied geology, is that correct?
Yeah, I initially started. Well, you know, when I was growing up, I always used the pen, but I never thought about how to use it as a profession. So I had a desire for natural sciences in general, so I moved to geology. Then I finished my academic career. I moved to telecommunication, learned everything about IT. Then I moved to a leadership role. And then eventually I felt a passion in me that said, okay, Guy, you have to use the pen. And that's where I started as an illustrator.
Wow.
Excellent. So I think you have prepared something that you want to show us, right? Some of your favorite elements or something that you're working on now? Or?
No, actually, that's something I have done at the TechEd. I think 2 years ago. Pretty much the last TechEd I was able to attend was 2019 in Barcelona. And that was the result pretty much that you're seeing here.
I was there, Wolfgang.
You was there.
I was there too.
Oh my God.
I was there too.
That was great. I had many visitors coming by, almost on a regular schedule, always visiting the progress.
Yeah.
And to be honest, when I started, it looked like here. So it was an empty playing field. There was nothing to see. And the people always asked me, how are you doing it? And I said, well, first I listen. I'm listening to the keynote, listening to the people. I'm talking to the people. Whatever resonates with me, I take it. I do scribble sketches first, what you're seeing here in the picture, for instance. And then I laid out what I want to do. So I had lots of Post-its, I grouped them. Eventually, I started drawing. And you see pretty much the TechEd in the background. When I started drawing, I got more ideas. So everyone that is talking to me resonates with me, is creating another idea, another whatever sketch I can do.
And you're connecting then the dots with each other,
And I
right?
connect the dots. And for instance, this picture that is here, that is pretty much reflecting the keynote of the CTO of Jung. But it's also reflecting what the people said about it. So everyone that was passing by said, oh, Wolfgang, maybe that's not correct. Oh, Wolfgang, you forgot that. Oh, Wolfgang, can you add this little thing?
So quite interactive, right?
Yeah, quite interactive. So I was interacting with all the people. And eventually, this picture, as a result, came out. And that's why so many people stop by on a regular basis and said, wow, Wolfgang, what's the progress? What have you done recently?
So it's kind of the wisdom of the crowd that you are putting there, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm not just listening, I'm also interacting with the people. So just the hour before, I was talking to people. The cloud, can you explain to me the difference?
Talking.
Yeah, we were talking, actually. You explained to me.
Yeah.
What is the data warehouse cloud, really?
Oh, that's
great. And so you're going to be doing the same thing for this TechEd then, right?
For this TechEd, yeah.
Okay.
To be honest, at the moment, I have no idea.
but
so I really trust Jürgen.
That's the creative process.
That he's placing a good message that I can build on.
Okay,
Perfect.
great, fantastic.
Perfect. So we'll be looking forward to actually catching up with you during Channel 1 to check on your updates, check on your progress, and maybe also in the chat, people can provide feedback as well, and you can incorporate that.
As I said, it's interactive.
Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
great.
That's great. All right. So actually now, thank you, Wolfgang, for joining us.
Thanks
it was really great to find out. And again, I'm looking forward to seeing that updated mural.
Yeah, well, me too.
Okay,
see you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, see you then. Bye.
Thanks. All right, so now we're going actually from one fun element to the next. So most of you might already know our next guest. She was also one of the co-hosts last year for SAP TechEd 2020 on Channel 1. Her name is Menina Chow, and she's part of the SAP Community Experience team. And she's here to tell us all about what the SAP community is doing during TechEd and how you can engage with them. So hi, Menina. Thank you for joining.
Hey, Menina.
Hey, Rui.
Hey.
Great to be here with you.
Yeah, so happy that you're here. So Menina, let me ask you first if you can explain to the audience, what is an SAP community advocate?
Happy to explain that. So let me start off by saying what I like most about SAP community. One is learning from others and with others. So when I started at university, and there were subjects that I didn't know much about, I was so happy to have peers that helped me out explaining it in their own words. And I also realized that I would really only deeply understand the topic if I would be able to explain it to others. So if I would be having a conversation with colleagues that need help from me, so I would really start explaining the topic, and that way I understood, okay, now I really got the topic, but at the same time, I felt good about it because I was able to help someone else same like my colleagues helped me. So another reason why I like SAP community is that me as an SAP employee, I get a lot of insights of what's happening around SAP, the technologies, customers and partners using the products. And those ideas, feedback that I see in the community happening is what is it's about, right? So we as SAP and you all together can only, have a better customer experience, improve the customer experience of our products, and be innovative, and at the end make your jobs, make you successful in your jobs. So my role as SAP community advocate is to, one, make sure that my SAP colleagues understand the value of SAP community, and second, to highlight the great content of community members with you and to motivate you to engage with the community.
Very
wow,
cool.
That sounds super interesting. So you're getting really the full picture of what is going on outside.
Yeah.
Really having the outside-in perspective.
Yeah.
So tell us, Menina, what is going on the SAP community now during TechEd?
Yeah, there's a lot going on, a lot of activities. Let me highlight 5. At the end, it all comes together to getting you guys involved. So the community offers meetups, and we all know we're still in this online event where it's hard to really get together with other attendees, and that's what I miss most from the physical on-site events, is going into the coffee corner, meeting up with other attendees, speakers, colleagues, and really just chat with them and get to know them and which sessions they are attending, how they like it. So the community team offers meetups in virtual Zoom calls, really occasionally throughout Channel 1, where you can dial in and have face-to-face interactions with other attendees. And we also have even an after event afterwards where you can meet up and see other attendees. Well, there are also more activities like, for example, during Channel 1, you will see some personal moments with you TechEd attendees. So you'll see how they got started and prepared for SAP TechEd, which sessions they are looking forward to, and really getting some insights from your colleagues, from your peers, from the TechEd community. Then we have remote check-ins. So remote check-in means that we want to bring you as attendee live into the TechEd environment. So we're dialing in all over the world to check in with attendees, where they're dialing in from, what they experienced so far with SAP TechEd, and which sessions they are looking forward to. This is what you will see in Channel 1, as well as community talks. It's nothing different from what we experience in the online community, where the community member shares its personal experience, tips and tricks with others like you. So our Channel 1 moderators are interviewing them and to gain more insights from the SAP community. Yeah, that's so far the activities that we have.
Quite a lot going on, right?
Yeah, quite a lot going on. And I remember the community talks also from last year, and they were super successful. So hopefully this year they will be as successful as well. So let's say like you mentioned, we want to get our audience involved. We want people to participate, and we want to get their feedback. We want to have that continuous loop. If the attendees can't attend the meetups for whatever reason, what else can they do?
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to mention, number 5. So 5 most important activity to get involved is actually to join conversations and discussions inside the new SAP TechEd group. So a few weeks ago, we launched a new group functionality, which lets you to have conversations around a specific topic. And there's one dedicated SAP TechEd group online since a few weeks. And if you go there, you see a lot of activities going on. Community members sharing their TechEd memories. It really lets me literally travel back in time 10 years ago, 15 years ago, on how SAP TechEd looked like. And that's just awesome if you are more of a newbie, that hasn't maybe had so much TechEd experience. But it's really a way to gain insights, connect, chat with other colleagues, because we know we're still ahead. I mean, we still have 48 hours to go with this event, but we also know how fast that will be finished. So the SAP TechEd group will stay for you to continue with your conversations, maybe even after the sessions, if you want to continue on the discussions. That's where you should be joining the SAP TechEd group.
We definitely know that time flies when you're having fun, so hopefully the 48 hours will go by like that.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to mention for the SAP TechEd groups, there's actually a thread on Casimir, our official TechEd mascot. So I don't know if we've seen him yet today, but look out for...
He's walking around every now and then.
There he is.
Oh, there
Hi,
he is.
Casimir.
Hi, Casimir.
So yeah, check him out. There's a thread on that, and we've all been kind of posting our photos of the merchandise, let's say, that we have of Casimir. So that's super interesting.
Yeah, he's actually waving his hand. That's nice. Nina, so with a full packaged agenda now for the next 48 hours of Channel 1, what are your recommendations for attendees really to pay attention to from your point of view?
Yeah, we're only a few minutes before the executive keynote, so that is definitely a must-watch. But also, as I mentioned earlier, the TechEd group, if you check it out, there's one also very, very big thread about behind the scenes of the SAP developer keynote. And that shows you pictures of backstage recordings. The team was really, really great in putting that together and doing a protocol about all the happenings and how the developer keynote got started and the made of, so to say. So that is definitely a second must watch, as we have all the developer advocates with us that you can chat with, and they also have are here for open discussions. But I also want to highlight that we have trusted advisors out there that are highly active community, passionate community members, but also top experts in the topics that they're just good in. I'm talking here about two of the SAP community influencer groups. So one is the SAP Champions and two, the SAP Mentors. And individuals of these influencer groups have put together their personal recommendations of which sessions they're going to attend and why. So I'm not here to tell you this is the session that you should be attending, but I can tell you if you go to the SAP Events platform, to the event details section, this is where you'll find their personal recommendations, and maybe it's one or the other that resonates with you. And I would recommend go beyond your focus. There's so much to learn from the community, from the SAP TechEd community, from others, and look beyond of what's out there and enjoy SAP TechEd.
Excellent.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much, Melina.
Yeah, thank you so much, Melina. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so Melina actually gave us two great reminders. First of all, if you want to get access to all this great content, register on sapteched.com so that you're actually registered for the event. And the executive keynote is coming up. So what is it now, like maybe 30 minutes that we have left, more or less, until the executive keynote?
21.
Already 21. See, time flies. And after the executive keynote, we're actually going to be joined by an expert panel. There's going to be an SAP community mentor actually joining us, Tammy Paulas, also customers, partners, and an analyst. And we're really going to get that outside-in perspective. So again, we don't want to just be SAP talking about SAP or SAP recommending SAP. We want to hear what the users of SAP are actually thinking. And then right after that, we're also going to have the executive Q&A. So remember, if you're registered on sapteched.com and you're watching the keynote, you're going to be able to submit your questions in that live Q&A tool. Some might get answered in the chat directly, but the most voted questions will then be passed on to us, and we'll be able to ask them to the execs in the Q&A. We'll have Jürgen Müller here, we'll have Thomas Sauer-Essig, and we're also going to have Julia White. And during that executive Q&A, we're also going to have the Q&A tool live. So if you join that session, you're also going to be able to submit your questions. And again, the most voted questions is what we'll be able to see here and ask them to our executive board members. So remember to register so you can get access to all this great information. So while we're kind of waiting for the keynote, I mean, I know we're all excited. Why don't we talk a little bit about how we prepared for TechEd? So Rui, how did you prepare?
Well, beyond preparing all the strategy for TechEd, I also...
Small task, right? I mean,
yeah, so I actually prepared by creating actually this blog post for the customer use cases, where I looked really what are the sessions that actually match those customer use cases most. And I also wrote another one about the unlimited workshops, because when I was, I'm also a long-time TechEd speaker,
You're a pro.
and it's always good if you have something new that you are told, hey, you have a possibility here to have an easier entry into those workshops, because in those live events in the past, the workshops were always super packed, right? And I think with this virtual format, we have here possibility to really give more people access to those hands-on workshops. And how did you prepare? I think you were visited by some camera people at your home, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you might have seen that if you joined maybe a little before the pre-show started. You might have seen my home story. I basically love baking banana bread and banana bread muffins, so I was kind of making that because it also kind of calms me when I'm super excited about something or I get kind of anxious. So I was just baking and learning and actually going through the TechEd website and really looking into the playlist to see what our community members have recommended for the event. And speaking of community, I think we also have a few videos that we want to show you of how the community actually prepared for SAP TechEd this year. So let's watch that.
I work for SAP, so how I prepare for TechEd might be different from how you prepare for TechEd. I come out into nature, and those geese are on their way to TechEd right now. So I can enjoy this beautiful lake. I'm gonna go for a run in a few minutes and do about 10K, and I'm gonna clear my mind. And then when I get done with that, I'll go back to my workstation. I'll make sure I'm following all the people in product engineering, developer advocates, solution engineers, and I'll see who they're following, so I can keep the conversation going during TechEd and after it. Now, what I'm looking forward to the most at TechEd? Two things. I look forward to both keynotes. There's two keynotes. The first one is done by Jürgen Müller on day 1, and then there's a developer keynote on day 2. I look forward to these for the reason that it makes us all, even if we're remote and not on site at a conference, feel connected and part of something bigger. This is my SAP family. I love being a part of this bigger family, and I love that feeling of when they tell you to take your seat, or when you see on your computer it's going to start in 5 minutes, grab that cup of coffee, get ready, and learn what everybody else is learning at the same time. This only happens once a year where we're all together like this, and I really look forward to that feeling.
Hi, Stephanie Llewellyn here. I'm a product manager, and I'm also one of the session speakers for Dev 102, which is the session about SAP Graph, the unified and consolidated API for the intelligent enterprise. And I really enjoy SAP TechEd because it gives me the opportunity, even as an SAP employee, to go in and see what my colleagues have been up to. Usually I've heard about some project, something exciting a team within SAP is doing, and I'd like to learn more about that. And so that's a really great opportunity to do so. And I also know that TechEd is so important for us that my colleagues have spent months and months getting everything ready, and that what I see at TechEd is always really high quality content that I can refer back to if I need to. And so usually before TechEd even starts, I build my schedule by going to the session catalog and sort of reading through the titles and descriptions and deciding, okay, that's a must-see, that's a nice-to-see, and this helps me make sure that I have the time to attend all of the sessions that I want to, and then that I can also maybe go back in later and find the session recording for some sessions I wasn't able to attend. And I just wanted to mention too that I've been part of TechEd since 2015, and we really miss in-person events. We miss presenting to you live. We miss fielding your questions also live after the session is over. We miss getting a coffee with you and just kind of exchanging ideas. But one of the great things about these virtual events is that we can reach a much broader audience. And I just wanted to remind you that even though it may feel like we're far away from one another, we're really on the other side of that chat during the session, ready to take your questions. So please feel free to ask. We love to get your questions and answer them. And we really enjoy that interaction, even if it's only virtual for now. So thank you for attending TechEd. Looking forward to seeing you.
So that was cool. So, and as we are already talking about the community, did some of you already see some selfies from us on Twitter? At least we did quite a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I think we also tagged them with SAP TechEd, right?
Hashtag SAP TechEd and hashtag SAP Community.
Yeah, so should we see what happens with those pictures at all? And I think for that we have Mamiki here.
Yes.
Hi, Mamiki.
Hi, Rui and Cecilia. How are you guys?
We are fine. So you're working on this social media wall, right?
Yes. The social media wall is a place where you guys can be able to share any of your thoughts, ideas that are just going throughout the session. Also post any pictures of where you're at, how are you doing, who are you watching it with, etc. We'd love to see them on our social media wall and have them on display for the rest of the audience who are watching TechEd.
Yeah, so basically, how do people get their post or their tweets on the social media wall? What do they need to do?
So it's super easy. All you have to do is post a picture, share a tweet, and just put hashtag SAP TechEd or SAP Community. And we'll be checking our Instagram and Twitter to be able to get those pictures or tweets and have them displayed on our social media wall.
Excellent. It's all about interacting with the community, right?
Absolutely.
So we want to see how they're experiencing TechEd in kind of an informal chat.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And it's not only going to be me that's going to be on the stage, it's going to be me and my colleague, Lena. She will also be on stage. So stay tuned for the 48 hours and start sharing your post as well.
Yeah, the social media wall was a big hit last year. So I'm excited to see the regular check-ins with you guys during these 48 hours.
Yep.
So I think you already prepared a few examples, right, of posts that have been happening actually leading up into TechEd. Can we see those already?
Yes. So the first one that we have is from our developer advocate, Kevin, who shows some behind-the-scenes developer keynote prep. And this one right here is basically them preparing for the open discussion that will happen right after the keynote on day 2. Developer advocates have worked extremely hard to come up with the keynote this year. So I'm really excited for you guys to check that out. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm actually excited for it because there are going to be some really, really fun snippets in there that you'll have to tune in for.
Yeah, and I think you were part of the developer keynote, right?
Yes, so you will see a familiar face if you haven't.
No, but it's nice to see also Kevin here because he's also in our speaker room, right?
Exactly.
So we had fun there. So
yes.
Moving on, and
I see in the picture we also have Josh, who's who's a host as well, and Cecily right there in the background.
Yeah.
So
we have a few of our moderators on there as well. So it's really great.
All the prep that we've been doing together, awesome.
Yep.
So what's next?
So the next post that we have is a tweet from Frances, who shows us our furry friend Tilly, who was a part of Devtoberfest, participated in the Oktoberfest, and slowly transitioning into TechEd. So we're happy to see that our furry friends are also getting ready for TechEd, and we're happy to see that you guys are posting your pets because last year has been a hit. And not only your pets that you can post, you can make sure that you put hashtag pets of SAP TechEd, so we'll be able to view them as well. We're excited to see the rest of the posts this coming for the event. We're excited to see that. And also, if you have any of your pets that you want to show, make sure that you tag us make sure that you do hashtag SAP TechEd and hashtag community for us to also see them as well.
Perfect.
Do you have a dog?
I don't, but I want one. Like that's
small,
on my
small or big?
Big. I want a big furry dog.
Oh, me too. Because I want actually my kids to to be able to use it like a pony.
Like a pony.
So I don't have to carry them.
That would be nice. But yeah, I know dogs. So Dogs at TechEd was also a big hit last year, and I remember Beth, again one of the co-hosts. She loves dogs, and she was also very, very, very happy and very excited whenever we had a new dog post on Twitter.
Yeah, so keep those coming. We'll love to see it.
Definitely.
Talking about Devtoberfest, we have our developer advocate Thomas Young and DJ Adams, who shared with us the final submissions of participants who have achieved level 4 of Nirvana in our Devtoberfest game board. So we're super excited to get to see who will be the winner for Devtoberfest this year. So please stay tuned for the end of the show to be able to see the winner of Devtoberfest.
Yeah, so I think at the closing show, we'll actually have Tom himself. He's going to have a big envelope, and we're going to actually see live who the winner is.
It's golden and big.
It's golden and big, exactly.
Yeah. And we had 29 entries this year, so it's been fantastic.
Yeah, and
for Nirvana.
Yeah, so 29 entries achieved level 4 of Nirvana.
So that's the highest level you can reach.
Yes, that's the highest level.
And I love that in this little video, we see how they actually coded an application to do the letterboard. So nothing of Excels, nothing of doing things manually. I mean, that's just developer advocates 101. I love it. Excellent. All right. What else do we have?
Next, we have the Unofficial TechEd Fun Run that happened last year. So we're keeping up with the tradition again this year. This was an idea that Phil Cooley and one of our SAP champions and DJ Adams decided to do last year, and we're keeping up that tradition and including it in our SAP TechEd event this year. So we have Jerry, who shared with us how he's participating by running a 5K through his treadmill at his home. So if you also are participating in the fun run or fun walk, don't forget to hashtag UTFRW and hashtag SAP TechEd.
So that was an easy one. Can you repeat again?
Yeah, I actually have to look on my card for this one. UTFRW.
UTFRW.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's easy to remember.
Yeah, that's
right?
easy. So
and that's
UTFR.
Unofficial TechEd
Fun Run Walk. Yes.
Okay.
If you're not a runner, a walker.
You can walk. Perfect. Excellent.
Great.
All right.
And we have more?
And the last one, which is my favorite, is the selfie with me and my beautiful co-host behind the scenes before we got on to do the pre-show earlier today. So
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. Oh my God, there we are.
Yay.
That's so cool.
So if you are also watching the show with your colleagues and friends, we'll love for you to put in on your social media, your Instagram, your Twitter, hashtag SAP TechEd. So we'll be able to see who you're watching it with as well.
That's really cool. So again, we love to engage with our community. We love for you to express yourselves, for you to share your thoughts, share how you're experiencing TechEd. I mean, with this whole virtual format, really the only way we have is to do it through social media and through platforms. So we really appreciate when you send us, when you tag us on tweets, when you send us feedback. Again, use the chat on Channel 1, use the Q&A tool. Just give us all your comments, all your feedbacks, and we'll be more than happy to incorporate that for years to come.
Yes, absolutely. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms to be updated on the event as well. So you'll be able to actually view the event and give real-time tweets and photos as well.
Yeah.
And people have to tag it with which tags again?
Hashtag SAP TechEd and hashtag SAP Community. And if you're participating in any of our little challenges, make sure you include those hashtags as well. I see a lot of people are doing SAP TechEd pets this year, so include that into your hashtags, and we'd love to see your pets as well.
Excellent.
Great.
So thank you so much, Mamiki.
Thanks
it was really great having you on stage, and we look forward to the rest of the social media wall check-ins then.
Absolutely. See you guys soon.
Right, see you guys. Okay.
That was fun.
That was really fun, and I loved our little photo, our little selfie. That was
we just did it when we came in here,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. We were all prepped. I was like in full makeup. Your hair was done. So that was absolutely perfect.
It took them 1 hour to make my hair.
I can imagine. Yeah, it took a while. So we're 5 minutes out.
I think we should set up the timer.
Are we really 5 minutes out? I can't believe time went by so fast.
5 minutes. Let's put a timer on. 5 minutes so that we don't forget.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we don't want to forget, right? We don't want to keep Jürgen waiting. That wouldn't be good. We want to make sure that we're on time. So we got to wrap this up.
So, but I think before getting into the keynote, and looking into all our great sessions that we have prepared for everybody on Channel 1 and the track sessions, let's maybe recap real quick TechEd 21.
Yeah, let's recap kind of the overall content strategy, right?
Exactly.
So how we got there, what the tracks are like, where to go on the website.
Yeah, so
you want to start with the content?
Yeah, so we will have, or we have, 8 tracks, right, covering the business technology platform, the intelligence suite, the partner innovation with SAP, and also Channel 1.
Yeah.
We have the session catalog, where you can look for sessions. You can find them very, very easily, and they provide you with a link or with a button to press to add them to your schedule. Also pretty straightforward. Here you can also find the playlists we have discussed before. You find it also under My Dashboard. If you scroll down a bit, you see there SAP champions and SAP mentors and the playlist that they provided. What else? So
yeah, we also wanted to kind of highlight again the unlimited workshop. So remember, even if you're just tuning into TechEd, even if you just registered, remember, register on sapteched.com, you're still going to be able to attend some workshops. Those that are marked with unlimited seats means that you can just add them to schedule right now. You'll be able to watch as the instructor goes through the exercises. And if you already have everything prepared, you can even do them side by side with the instructor. You can take advantage of that time to ask your questions. But if not, don't worry. These will be recorded and they will be provided after TechEd as well. So you can do them kind of at your own pace, right?
And we also had all these engagement possibilities here at TechEd. We have the chat going on next to the windows, right? The video screen where you see us. You have the Q&A sessions where you can post your questions. And what do we need to do?
You have to register on sapteched.com. Super simple. I think we forgot to mention, but the event is free. We just kind of have that as a given. The event is free, it's global, it's virtual. Those are kind of the 3 main characteristics. So you can register at any time during these 48 hours and be able to get all those benefits. Again, you have the interactive content, so you can access the Q&A tool, you can access the live chat, so you can kind of chat with, we didn't mention the team that's actually behind the live chat. And those are actually the developer advocates. So you know them all probably either from the dev keynote last year or just from the engagements on the community, like community calls or just YouTube videos and everything that they do to engage with our community. And they'll be actually behind the scenes as moderators for the chat, answering your comments and just kind of chatting with you, just using it as an informal platform to get your feedback and see how you're experiencing the event.
So I think we are already getting closer and closer.
We have a minute and a half, so yeah.
Minute and a half. So we already put some popcorn here. So in case you are doing it also at home, grab yourself something to eat, something to drink.
Get a pen.
Get a pen for some questions.
Or something to write on.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Register for the website to also raise your questions later on to the executive Q&A that we will do.
Remember, if you're registered on sapteched.com, then during the keynote, you'll have access to the Q&A tool, and you're going to be able to submit your questions. There might be some questions that are answered directly in the Q&A tool, but the most voted questions will also get sent to us, and we'll be able then to ask the executives live when they're here joining us for the executive Q&A. But remember that right after the keynote, so right when it ends, we'll be back with an expert panel of external voices. So you also get to hear their first impressions of what Jürgen Müller shared with us today.
So I think we're getting now very close to the keynote. And maybe for those of you who are used to were used to the physical events, maybe we can do a little imagination now. So you and maybe us. So we're here now waiting for the keynote together and chatting. And suddenly the lights dim a bit and you hear a voice coming above you saying, "May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention? Dear participants, take your seat. The show will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome It's TechEd.
TechEd 2021.
48 hours full of content. Could this be any better?
This only happens once a year where we're all together like this.
It's a very exciting opportunity to learn more about SAP products and network with some amazing people.
The over 100 skill building workshops this year.
TechEd is the place to be.
Hey, it is Sunday afternoon and I'm almost ready to be picked up by my Uber driver. And then I will go to Frankfurt, where